Hey man, say man, Fat Joe was talking real greasy about Caleb Plant. Like he was finna do something to Caleb Plant. He claimed that he was finna lay Caleb Plant down in that ditch, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, I never got to give my take on this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let y'all know how I feel about this whole Fat Joe Caleb Plant situation. Also, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let y'all hear exactly what Fat Joe pretty much said he did to Caleb Plant when he ran into him. You know, I'm gonna play the audio so y'all can hear it. And then Caleb Plant came back and responded. And like I said, man, I'm gonna give you my take on it. And then I wanna know who y'all believe. But without further ado, let's get into it, man. So I guess Fat Joe and Caleb Plant not too long ago ran into each other backstage at a fight, right? Now, for those who don't know, Fat Joe is real close to Edgar Berlanga, right? Who is a fighter, who is a boxer. And Caleb Plant and Edgar Berlanga, they got beef because Caleb Plant want Edgar Berlanga smoke, and Edgar Berlanga seemed like, I don't know, man. He seemed like he been ducking Caleb Plant, but we'll see. If they don't fight in 2025, we know what it is. But for right now, we just gotta wait and see. Well, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna play y'all the audio of what Fat Joe said happened, right? What he said happened, and then we gonna talk about what Caleb Plant came back and what he said happened. So let me play y'all this audio right here. This is Fat Joe.
Of yesteryear.
But no, we hear stories now.
No, you don't.
What's the boxer name? Plant.
Oh, yeah. He had it coming.
See what I'm saying?
No.
He had it coming.
Because the thing is,
He said,
I can tell you the truth.
okay.
Because he skipped out on the truth.
Okay.
I'm not to be played with. So let's be clear. I don't love violence and this and that. Just don't. I feel like, yo, bro. Don't you know? Like, what's the problem? Like, you don't believe the stories? Don't you know what's gonna happen to you?
So basically, he's saying, like, man, he should already know. He should have heard my stories. Basically saying that, you know, he been a hitter from way back. But let's go ahead and continue the video.
Respect me. I'm an elder. I'm an OG. I'm walking through minding my business. He come up on me because he want to fight Edgar Berlanga.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, yo, man, he was talking crazy and jumping like almost like he wants to swing. Like this world, attention, viral, all that stuff. You know, as far as I'm concerned, he had a camera dude with him, and it just didn't go his way. You know what I'm saying? Because I let him know. I said, yo, bro. I can't tell you. I was like, yo,
He said, how did it work when he just
No. I had to tell him because he was jumping up and down like he was ready to hook off.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, bro, you will be eliminated if you punch me. You're gone, bro. Like this ain't fighting. Not like you're gone. Like this ain't like. And he stopped. Like he. Because it's very rare somebody tells you something in another way like that. Mm-hmm. Like in human life, when you tell somebody, yo, my man, do you know what this is? He was like, oh, wow. Like, the troll is over.
Now, what Fat Joe did, because I know y'all can't see it, he leaned back in his chair and he started shaking, basically saying that, you know, Caleb Plant backed up and was shaking and was like, put his hands up. Like, oh man, my bad type shit. So this is his story.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was with my wife, I was with my daughter. He was very disrespectful, this guy. I understand his boxing and all that, but he came at me and he was going like acting like I'm like, yo, bro. Like
he said before that Caleb Plant was like bouncing up and down, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he getting ready.
Spar. You ain't punching Fat Joe. You're not punching Fat Joe. You punch Fat Joe, you got some sort of a wish. You're witch hunting. Like, it's going to be bad, bro.
So, pretty much that's what he had to say. Like, he played the situation like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he pretty much, let Caleb Plant know what it was. He gonna be 6 feet under somewhere, and Caleb Plant realized it and backed off and was like, kind of like, oh, my bad, like, and pretty much got shook. That was Fat Joe's story. Now, Caleb Plant, of course, he came back and he responded. This is what Caleb Plant had to say. He say, I'm not the type to jump up and down before things get going, and I'm not the type to jump back with both hands up and say, oh, after someone says they'll hurt me. Mind you, we were in the MGM, so no guns, no knives, no nothing in there. And I'm scared for my life. Like, pretty much, bro, you ain't have no weapon on you. What is it for me to be scared of? Then he came back and he says, basically, not what happened at all. He said to me first, how did it feel getting off the ground from your fight? I said, not as good as it felt to win. Security immediately started ushering us along our separate ways. My wife, my dad, and stepmom were there, only ones with me. So he basically said it wasn't really nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Fat Joe is doing all of this capping, trying to act tough in front of the cameras. But that ain't what went down. Now, it's crazy to me that Fat Joe always got stories involving boxers. Like, he had a story involving Roy Jones. Basically, you know, Roy Jones had to check him about some shit, and he was like, you know, oh man, it would have got ugly for Roy Jones, because man, you know who I am, and all of that, man. And the thing is that, look here, man. Whatever Fat Joe did in the streets way back in the day, Fat Joe 50-something years old, dog. You've been filthy rich since the 90s. Like, real talk, you've been filthy rich since the 90s. So you want me to believe that you finna risk everything you got going on if Caleb Plant punch off on you? Bro, I don't believe it. You know why I don't believe it? Because if that was the case, like I said, you've been famous since the 90s. So with that being said, Cass is gonna test you in the streets. Cass is gonna try to test you everywhere you go. So if that was the case, bro, we would have already heard about it, and we would have been there heard about you on the news, not stories, and not you telling stories about, you know, what you done did. Because look, I'm gonna make a perfect example. All these young rappers that's out here now, that's really, you know what I'm saying, living like that, where they all at? They all in prison or 6 feet under somewhere. You feel me? So out of all these years, 30-something plus years, if you was really stepping like that, Fat Joe, you be either in prison or dead. Straight up and down. You know what I'm talking about? So I just don't really believe all of that, you know. Like, I mean, I do know you got your respect in the streets. You stepping, but you ain't just ignorant. You know what I'm saying? You ain't finna risk all of that if Caleb Plant punch off on you. You ain't finna do all that. You know what I'm saying? So you're just talking. And like Caleb Plant said, like, you talking all that stuff, but it wasn't no guns, no knives, no none of that. We was in the MGM arena. You ain't had none of that. So you wasn't finna do none of that. So yeah, man, Fat Joe, man, I rock with Fat Joe. But I just think, man, he needs to chill out on all of that, you know, trying to be extra tough. Like, bro, you in your mid-50s. All that, man, all that shit for the bird, bro. You ain't got to be trying to be extra tough. People know who you is, man. You get money, been getting money forever. So, man, like, yeah, it's just, to me, it's all nonsense. I don't even know what the point of him telling that story was. And like I said, I think part of what he was saying was cap anyway. Anyway, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. Who y'all believe? Y'all believe Fat Joe, or do y'all believe Caleb Plant? Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit my like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. Tego talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.